Okay, let's have a look at Tutorial 7. So this is explaining about talismans. These are items that you can equip on your staff or body gear, and they let you change the way you go about playing the game. I'll explain more about the different types and about the specific ones we're using here as I play. So first of all, the enemy wizard is a long way away, so we're not going to worry about them. They're going to come around here and get, or around here perhaps, and get these mana sprites, and there's nothing we can do about it from this far away. So we're going to start by casting a magic wood, and I will explain why in just a moment. So this card is explaining that the magic trees are in some respects like mounts. If you shelter underneath one of them, the tree will protect you and it must be destroyed before the wizard can be attacked. However, unlike mounts, at the start of your turn there's a 30% chance that the tree will die, and if that happens you'll get an extra spell card and 10 mana points. So these are a great way to move around the map in comparative safety. However, the main reason I want the trees for this particular game is we have this talisman here, and if I activate it with 50 mana points, every turn there's something like a 30% chance that for each of these trees that they'll turn into an elf, up to a maximum of 5 elves, and because I have so few creatures, that's what I'm going to be doing to win this game. Okay, this is explaining about the different body gear types that you can choose. There's some crossover between the body gear types, so you can have Vigilant Gear or Heroic Gear that have exactly the same stats, but the Heroic Gear is the only gear that allows you to have the maximum amount of attack strength. The Vigilant Gear is the only gear that lets you have the maximum amount of defensive strength, and the Arcane Gear is the only one that lets you have the maximum amount of magic power. And we've got Vigilant Gear here. It says we also have a Staff of Law. The Law Staff means it's more likely that we will have Law spells in our deck and in our hand, and that Law spells will be easier to cast. While we're talking about the spells we have, we can look at some of these other talismans. I've got a Spellbind talisman here, which guarantees that my deck will have Magic Bolt. My starting hand here has actually drawn that bolt from the deck, but that isn't guaranteed. For example, we can see here that the deck is guaranteed to have Fountain of Life, which we do have, but also guaranteed to have Pegasus, which we don't have in our starting hand, but it will be in our deck somewhere. There is another talisman you can use to make sure that these bound spells do start in your starting hand, but we don't have it right now. This talisman here is a passive buff talisman for flying creatures, and it gives them a boost to defense and agility. So if I had cast my Pegasus, that will be getting the benefit of this talisman right now. This is a similar talisman in that it gives buffs this time to law creatures, but I need to activate it with 15 mana points. And as I have no creatures on the map, I'm not going to do that now. Also, I want to save my mana points at the moment for this talisman. It's expensive and it costs 50 points, but it's going to let me turn all 5 of these trees into elves over the course of the next few turns, so that's what I'm going to do now. I have 42 mana points already, and I don't really feel like I'm going to need all of these magic attacks. It might be handy to keep all of them if my opponent uses a lot of undead, but for the purposes of this tutorial I'm just going to burn it and activate this talisman right now. There's the Pegasus I was talking about that we were guaranteed to have. So I activate my talisman, I end my turn, and I'd expect to see perhaps 2 or 3 of my trees turn into elves this turn, and then more of them in subsequent turns. So yeah, I got 2 elves that time around, so that's not too bad. So I'm going to move my elves up but stay out of attack range, so that they get first shot at these rats. Move round to get this mana sprite, and leave my remaining trees alone. If I stand inside the tree, it won't turn into an elf, and at the moment I'm wanting as many elves as possible. I'm perhaps going to... I don't really want to cast anything this turn because I don't want to use mana points. I want to save those, so I'm going to disbelieve this goblin, expecting it to fail. It did, but it gives me a little extra mana, and I didn't spend any mana points this turn is the most important thing. That was the sound of at least another one of my trees turning into an elf. And these guys are all going to attack now. Advance to attack, rather. Okay, but I'm not particularly concerned looking at rats and goblins, so I'm just going to keep on shooting them all. And this guy wants to retreat a little bit, so that I don't give away the first strike. This elf's going to go around this way, so that the enemy wizard can't go for this mana sprite. I'm going to get this, and rather than cast these trees here, I think I'm going to go for this one here. Let me see, it costs... costs 64, and I think I get 10 of them versus... Oh, I'll only have one more of these cards. So yeah, this is going to be the better thing to cast if I want more elves. So I think I will perhaps cast Law Shift, because it only costs 19 and it'll reduce the cost of everything by 20. And I'll get another 15 mana in the next turn, so that's all fine. And end my turn. So yeah, I'm not sure it's even possible to prevent the enemy wizard getting this this sprite here. And I'd expect to see the mega spell come out now or soon. Oh, a giant instead. That is slightly bad news for my elves. Okay, these elves are just going to stay here for a while then. I don't think I can get this sprite with the giant and everything here, so I'm going to instead fall back this way towards this sprite and see about disbelieving the giant. Again, I imagine it's real. It'd be quite gutsy of the AI to cast a fake giant. Although you know, it does happen, but this way I've got the mana I need to cast this spell the next turn. Okay, so it's turn 5, and that's the last of my elves. The performance of the talisman varies a little, but it's designed to work in a similar way to the Elf Squad mega spell. Okay, the giant is in range of these two elves, so I get 2 free shots. I only get the 1 free shot because the other elf would have to move. And I don't want to move the elf there to take a shot. I can perhaps do... Yeah, I can significantly weaken this giant. Which I feel okay about doing now that I know it's real. And then back off, I think. Let's get properly out of range. So the giant, this is its, this orange area here is how far it can throw the rock, and then it can move, we can see 2 hexes, so if I stay 1, 2 hexes outside of that area, then I can't be hit. This elf's going to move around here again, just to prevent the wizard from moving into that area. I'm going to activate my mega spell this turn, because why not, and it's free to cast next turn. And then pass the turn to my opponent. Yeah, at the moment I'm rather outnumbered, even with my 5 elves, because they're really going to have to work together to make much of an impact. I think I can take out this this rat without risk. Yep. The giant could throw its rock at one of the elves if it moves around to here, I think, but that's not something I'm particularly concerned about. I'm not even sure it can kill outright. And we're going to move to here to get this sprite. I'm going to cast our free trees. And we're going to activate a talisman again and do our best to ruin the AI's day. Because I have so many of these now, it's much more likely that I'll get more on the first turn. Although I will again only get a maximum of 5 per activation. Okay, and I'll pass the turn. Yeah, the AI doesn't really fancy walking into the teeth of all these elves, so I think I got, did I get 2 or 3 elves last turn? Which is good. This giant's dead. And there's nothing at all the AI can do about that. And I'm going to move everyone else up. 1, 2, 3, just checking the lion is out of range. Yeah, because the combined firepower of these elves is 2, 3. It's pretty impressive, so I can take on that goblin as well. That was a fake goblin, okay. And on a circular map like this, I have to move around both sides so that the AI can't just run away from me and we end up circling indefinitely. Does this give me... excellent, so this talisman I was talking about before, that I can spend 15 mana on, gives me 30% attack buff for law creatures, which I could definitely do with. So I'll activate that now. And move around here. Do I fancy... Oh, I'll have a magic sword. I may use that later. I might get on a Pegasus once some of these other creatures have been destroyed. And again, I'm not going to get to shelter under the tree because I want it to turn into an elf in the next turn. So I think that was again another 2 or 3 elves. So what I probably want to do now is try and save up enough mana to activate this again. Because apart from the Pegasus, the elves are my only creature. Okay, so the eagle... the eagle can swoop to there, the lion can move to the same, so the elf can advance 1 without risk to itself. Okay, you people go around there. Okay, I'm going to move around here for now, and then I'll be in a better position next turn to attack this eagle, because, yeah, I don't feel like giving away the first strike at all. Although, yeah, maybe that would be okay given the size of my army here. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to keep on going over this way to get this sprite over here. I'm going to cast Disbelieve, not particularly expecting to work. I'll target the eagle because that's my biggest immediate problem at the moment because it has the most strike range. Yeah, none of these creatures really know what to do with themselves because I have so much stuff now. Whatever they do, they're going to get chewed to pieces. So the goblin's dead. We're going to need more combined power, I think, to take this lion out, so we're not going to go with that this turn. So one of my elves is probably going to get nibbled by that rat. But I think I can live with that at this point. Yeah, no offence, ladies, but there are plenty of you. Let's move over here. Oh, I can already activate my talisman again to get more elves, so let's do that. And again, I don't think I need to cast anything. I think I've probably got this game in hand. The rats, we can see 2 of them were real, so this one won't be a fake. Let's try the lion, because that has a decent range. Excellent, the lion was fake and that was a problem, so now let's just try disbelieving some other things. Goodness me, that's cheeky. That's incredible. Okay then. Surely not. No, okay, the elephant's real. That's fine then. I feel like the AI there may have overused the illusions more than a little. Oh no, I got another elf out here, which is nice to know. Okay, let's just shoot everything. Right, and I think because I can rather than because I need to is fatal to the... No, it's not quite fatal to the goblin, okay. that will be though. I'll pop up here and I'll cast... Oh well, that was fake as well. I'll cast Fountain of Life. Because then I can talk about how it works. Okay, so what it's saying here is that the Fountain of Life, if one of my living creatures is killed, there's a 50% chance that it will be resurrected adjacent to the fountain instead of just being removed from the game. And the fountain can do this 3 times. And because it's a structure, the fountain's immune to magic attacks. So the best way to take these out is with the Meteor Shower spell. Maybe I was going to say I would let this this rat kill one of my elves, but I think it's going to take forever. How much it's taken off? I have to let it hit twice for that to be viable. Oh, I can't step down here either. Okay, well, let's just start having a go at this elephant. These guys may as well move around here. And I'll end the turn. Oh, it's attacking a different elf this time. Okay, so I'm going to play deliberately badly a little bit here because I'd quite like to see one of my elves get resurrected. So you can see how the fountain works. No reason not to have a little pop at the enemy wizard while we're available. And everyone else can just stay where they are, I think. Oh, let's have a go at these elephants too. And I'll cast that Pegasus that I was talking about. Okay, so that elf died. And we see the Fountain of Life animation play. But that sort of flash there means that it failed. And it tells us here it failed to resurrect the elf. Here we lose another elf. This one also failed. So I'd quite like to see it succeed. That doesn't look like it's quite fatal, but let's not risk it. Let's try disbelieving one of these elephants. It was fake. The AI is super cheeky today with its use of illusions. Okay. So I'm going to move over to here, but I'm not going to take this shot because I'd quite like to be attacked. This elf here can also move forwards, and I'll move myself over here. But I don't really feel like I need to be moving any of my other creatures. This tutorial is so heavily weighted in my favour. Okay, so we should see some action from the Fountain of Life in the next turn. So I'm just going to pass the turn and let these lions have a go at the elves. Okay, so again we're going to see the resurrection animation play. And this time we get a matching column of light next to the Fountain of Life, and the elf pops back up again here. Yeah, this also works, and we can see that the fountain's getting smaller, so it's used up 2 of its resurrections. The failed resurrections don't deplete it at all. Okay, that was not a great place for the enemy wizard to move to. I guess it had no options. And we are victorious.